Hey guys, so I want to talk to you guys today about something controversial, which is light, which is the light. What does it mean to bring somebody into the light? Well, this could mean that you are lifting them up, lifting their spirits, making them happy. Uh, it's like you're pouring some of your cup into their cup to fill their cup. And a lot of people, they say you can't date until you've filled your own cup. You can't find love until you love yourself. And I think this is partially true. But the most important thing that you can do here is bring others into the light. And what I mean by that is the most important thing that we can do here on this planet is to lift others up. Like, lift them up with you. No matter where you go in life, no matter where you are, no matter who you're surrounded by, you can always lift people up. And there's a lot of arguments to this. You could say, well, what if I'm being held against my will? What if somebody is bullying me? What if they don't deserve to be brought into the light? You know, this guy doesn't deserve to be brought into the light because he's done horrible things. He killed my brother. He whatever it may be, you know what I mean? Everybody deserves to be brought into the light, and it is your duty on this planet to bring others into the light. Because once you discover the light, nothing else is quite as important. And I'm not religious, but I do believe in a higher power. And once you discover this inner being inside of you, it makes your problems a little bit lighter. It makes everything a little bit easier. And I think that once you discover this for yourself, you will understand what I mean when I say it is your duty to bring others into the light, because there are a lot of people out there that are not as fortunate. You know, maybe their life circumstances haven't exactly brought them to the point of this sort of self-discovery, and that is okay. There is no judgment here. And then this is something that I'm learning more and more about, how to talk to people and how to connect with people. Every interaction is a new one. Every day I learn something new, and recently I have learned that it is very imperative, is very important, in other words, to help others realize that you are not judging them. If you want to help them, you are not judging them. And this might seem obvious. You might say, well, of course, if you want to help somebody, you want to let them know you're not judging them. But it's more than that, because people have these very deep-rooted, I don't want to say issues, but they have these deep-rooted fears, and, people don't fully love themselves, and they take things personally. And so, for example, I was hanging out with this girl a little while ago, and she was like a chronic weed smoker. Okay, we hung out. I went to hang out with her, and she was chain smoking cigarettes and joints the entire time we were hanging out, pretty much, which was for the span of maybe 3 or 4 hours. And I asked her a lot of questions. I said, when did you start smoking? When did you turn to this sort of thing? I kind of got some surface level information about the smoking and about her anxiety. And long story short, she told me that she smokes because it takes away some of the pain she feels. The pain she feels, which is a physical pain, For some people it's a mental, it's like a depression thing, and maybe it was for her. Maybe she just didn't say that, but she told me she had like this sort of condition in her body, and it was painful, and she smoked to help with that, and I understand that. But as we got on in the conversation, and as I kind of explained to her that I believe that you can get over this pain, and you can come into this love and peace in your body without the weed eventually, because this is what I believe. Eventually, anybody can, uh, for lack of a better word, heal their selves. But as I was explaining this, what I thought to her, I could tell she got very offended, and she got defensive, and I remember she kind of said like, she just she came off like defensive about the weed. She was like, "Weed is not bad for you. It's not bad to smoke weed." She was very intense with her voice and with her body language while she was saying this. She was like, "Cigarettes are gross. I'm gonna quit cigarettes, but I'm never gonna quit weed because there's nothing wrong with weed. Like, weed is fine. There's nothing wrong with it." And she was very, very like, "I will die on this hill" type of thing. And for a second, I took it personally. Before I reacted, I in my head I thought, "Oh my gosh, like, she's being rude. She's disregarding what I'm saying, and she's trying to argue with me." And immediately I thought of a response. I thought of like, "Are you stupid? Like, obviously you're frying your brain, smoking weed for 10 hours a day, every single day." And this was my initial reaction in my mind. At first I was like, "What are you saying to me? Obviously you're wrong." But then I thought to myself, bring others into the light. And so instead of responding with frustration, like I'm trying to argue my point, like to win my belief, and in this case, the belief that I wanted to argue was that, yeah, weed is probably not good for you, smoking it every day, because she was saying it's fine, and I was thinking to myself, it's not fine. Like, look at your situation right now. But instead of arguing that with her, I took a different approach. And I stopped myself, and I said to her, "You know what? I can see that this is like bringing up some sort of emotion in you, and maybe I offended you, but I didn't mean to offend you. And there's nothing wrong with you. And when I tell you these things, I'm not judging you, because you may have dealt with things that I have never dealt with, and you grew up in a different way than me, and you are the way you are because that's just how it is. Nobody deserves judgment. And if you want to bring others up with you, you can't judge them, because they will not want to change. And the key is, if you want to help somebody change, you really want to do it for them, you have to let them know that you love them, and that you aren't judging their choices and their lifestyle and how they are now. And I set a boundary. I said, "Hey, look, I don't like the way that things are for you right now, but I'm not looking down on you for the way things are right now. I just want better for you." And when I kind of got this point out there, her defensiveness completely dissolved. She was smiling. I could see like warmth in her eyes, like comfort, like she knew that I wasn't trying to shit on her. And that's what you need to do if you want to reach people and help them grow. You need to let them know that hey, no matter what, no matter whatever way you are, no matter how your life is like, there is nothing wrong with you for being the way you are. Like, you are a completely pure and lovable individual. No matter how many problems you have on the outside, everybody is completely the same, equally as pure inside. It doesn't matter where you live, or what gender you are, or what your background is. It doesn't matter. Inside, we are all the same. And this isn't like a philosophical thing. Like, I'm not trying to get into that right now. This is purely, if you want to bring people up, you need to touch them in a way that they feel safe. And that is what I tried my best to do in that situation. And I think it worked a little bit. Hopefully it did. She said to me, I haven't had a conversation like this in a long time. And I said, things happen when they're meant to happen. Maybe you're meant to hear this stuff now. Anyway, that is all for today. Take care, guys.